Good morning, good morning, good morning. AM Hustle. Hold on a second. Make sure that I don't overspeak myself. Okay. All right. That wasn't supposed to be in there. But hey, all right, let's jump into it. All right. This is what's going on. I want to talk about the power of your own economy. What's going on with people is this madness right now. I see stuff on my Facebook feed. I see other things, and I see people talking about a lot of problems. And I thought about it last night. Like, we have the Black Lives Movement. We have this massive problem with police and community. And I'm just listening to the conversations, and people are talking around the solution because they're angry. You cannot, and I've learned this lesson the hard way, you cannot use logic to deal with emotion. And right now, you have a lot of people who are in this heightened emotional state that you can't even talk to them. If you say anything that does not fall in line with the narrative that's dropping from their head, then you are the enemy. And I've been the enemy a lot. So I decided to talk to you folks, the disruptive hustlers, the people that are part of the Hustler Mindset Project, folks who listen to this channel who can think for themselves, and give you a history lesson. I believe, just me, just my opinions, the surest path to respectability is creating your own economy. There are people who will go counter to that, who will go talk around that. And I've got some historical evidence in certain groups to prove that. But before we jump into that, I want to share something with you. This show is brought to you by hustlerskungfu.com. From now until September 30th, you could take advantage of the site-wide bundle. You get everything that's there, plus everything that's coming for $350. Plus, you're going to get a special orientation where we're going to bring you in and point you in the right direction. So, with that, let's jump to the show. Now, I woke up this morning because I was talking with people, and this thing was just going kind of crazy with what folks were talking about in terms of what's going on with the country and all of these things. Then I was thinking, what group of people in the United States of America has the most respectability, highest level of business ownership, highest income, and highest educational level? What group of people is that? Go ahead, put it in the comments real quick while you're watching this. I'm going to tell you, it's Asian. Primarily Chinese, Japanese, then Korean. And then there's Filipino, excuse me, Filipino. And oh, yeah, let's put in the East Asians, which are the Indians from India. The East Asians. Highest group of business ownership, highest incomes, and the highest level of education. Now, how did that happen? Let's go back. I will be 49 next month. And I remember when being Asian in this country was not cool. I remember going back to the Archie Bunker time frame when these derogatory terms such as chink, slant-eyed, take your ass back to Korea, take your ass back to China. Oh yeah, the Japanese prisoners, World War II in the war camps. Being Asian in the United States of America was not always a good thing, but now it's like, you go, baby, you go. And let's look at how did they get there, because talk to some Asian people, and more importantly, talk to their fathers and their grandparents who remember how shit was. This is why there was a Chinatown, because it had to be a Chinatown. And for all of you black hotel folks who are going to jump in, well, this and that. No, 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 no. I lived in Hawaii for 3 years. I lived in Japan. I've been to Korea. I've seen the culture. It's different. It's different. I went to the University of Chaminade in Honolulu. They work fucking harder. This is what I saw with my own eyes and heard with my own ears. So before you come in there with all this stuff, well, blah, 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 no, save that for someone who has not been around the world. And the big thing is economics has changed their position and has changed their perception. Once again, I grew up when it wasn't cool to be Asian in this. It's like all of this stuff. The number one interracial couple, or I think that's what it was purported, I don't know if it's true, was white men and Asian women. And that wasn't dudes who married Asian women during World War II and brought them home. They came home to a lot of problems. If you were not WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, you weren't shit. I don't care if, no, it didn't matter. And a lot of those guys were kicked out the family. It's like, oh, no, you don't come back here. No, you're out the will. You've been disavowed. We've disowned your ass. That was what went down. So now here it is, 2015. Asians have all these businesses. Indians have all these businesses. Why? Because they have learned the surest path to respectability and power is economics. You cannot do shit without money. But you have people who think that they can legislate the hearts and desires of people, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The reality is you have to make yourself a valuable part of the economy. You have to make yourself a valuable part of society. You have to become something worth being. Now, let's talk about the second group of people, because I know everyone was like, oh, it's Jews. No. Asians, highest business of any group, look it up. Next group, Jewish people. Now, let's talk about Jewish people. Many people, and I've got clients in Israel, and we've talked about this. A lot of people hate Jews. Hate them. We'll talk about them. But have you noticed you don't see the derogatory language as like you used to? You don't. If you say something anti-Semitic on television as a reporter, you just lost your job. If you are an actor and you say something anti-Semitic or something against homosexuals, you just lost your job. Why did you lose your job? Because these people have economic power. They don't march. And what's going to happen in the next power group, and you saw it with the Donald Trump fiasco, Hispanics, they weren't out marching in the streets. They collectively put together their coalition. People started posting videos. They started calling Trump the idiot he is. And next thing you know, Trump started losing sponsors. Now, granted, Trump is rich and he can run for president on his own money. But how does Trump operate? Every time he does something, he does it with partners to get that buy-in. He's not going to spend $100 million of his own money to run for president when nobody is partnering with him. He's not that stupid. And the other day, he was in a real debate with somebody, and he came off sounding like the idiot he is. I'm telling y'all, once it gets tight to those real debates where he's going to start looking like the monkey he is, then you'll be like, oh shit, Glendon was right. But back on point. You can't talk about Jews, Hispanics are coming because Hispanics, black folks, and certain people of the lower economic caste you can talk shit about all day because they have no economic power. It's like, I can poke you, I can slap you, I can talk about your mama, I can do all of this stuff, right? What you gonna do? You have no power, you have no voice, you have no authority. Well, you gonna go march? There was some young black folks talking to Hillary Clinton, and she dropped the game in front of them, and they did like, no. She said, you cannot legislate what's in the heart of people. You can't. Now, I'm going to tell you a story of corporate racism that has a strange fucking twist. It was one of my last jobs as an office furniture salesperson. No, it was my last job. It was my last job as an office salesperson. Last job as an office furniture salesperson. There's this woman that worked in the office who was clearly a racist. There was no doubt about it. I mean, she looked at me like, I could just spit on you. But it was what I call the Southern nice racism. Well, there was all these excuses and all of these things why she would not do what she needed to do. I was a salesperson. She was staff. I am higher rank than you. And it went on and on and on. And over time, and after the owner talked to her, she started doing her job and she stopped acting. She was still racist. Let's be real clear about that. Her racism never changed. She just started doing her job and treating me with the respect that I had earned. Well, things go along and I leave the firm. There's all kinds of stuff because she saw that I was a producer. She saw that I was a hard worker. Now, once again, let me just keep saying, she is still a racist, probably to this very day. And after I had checked her and we had, we started to develop this easy relationship, probably something symbolic of what happened between black people and white people in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. It was like, we know there's some shit that's wrong, but we're going to respect each other across this line. And it was kind of like that. Well, I leave, right? And I do my own thing. And one day I get this email from her. And it's like, I hear you have your own business. I hear things are going well. We lost a contract to you. I'm like, okay, why are you sending me this email? Then, I get some more emails. She's just kind of softened me up, right? Next thing I know, this racist, let's be real clear about this, sends me her resume. True story. Shit blew my fucking mind. So let's just deconstruct that. She's still a racist, but self-preservation and economic sufficiency are more important than racism. She saw that I could get the job done, and her racist ass was willing to work for me because she knew that I could bring the money in. That's why I feel the way that I do. That's why I feel all the marching and all the whining and the bitching and all this stuff. It's not going to solve a damn thing. But once you get your fucking economics together, then you can have someone who, let's just be clear, she's still racist probably to this day. I don't know. I didn't hire her. I didn't keep up with her. I just said I had already hired someone. I don't know. But the point is, her racism did not prevent her from seeing what I brought to the table. So my whole question, that's what this whole AM hustle's about. You get your economy together. You get your shit together. Even racists will fucking work for you if you're black. Racist, homophobes will work for you. Homosexual, but you're a homosexual with a bumping ass business, they will work for you. Men who hate women, if you're a woman with a bumping ass business, they will work for you because most people don't have what it takes to be an owner, to be a boss, to be on. They just don't have it. They're all followers. Most of them are followers. So once you establish yourself as a leader, as a boss, as someone who's forward thinking, progressive, then they will follow you even though they have these homophobic, racist, sexist mindsets because they need that money. And if you can make it rain for real, like I can give you a job. At that point, you become so fucking powerful when you can give people jobs. So that's my whole viewpoint on this thing. The surest path to getting respect. Now understand, they still don't like you. They still don't like you, but they respect you. I would rather be respected than liked. There's a lot of you motherfuckers on this channel who can't stand my black ass. I'll be real. You unsubscribe, then you come back. Then you unsubscribe, then you come back. Because I see it in my emails. It's like, wait a minute. Because some people have unsubscribed so many times to come back that it's almost predictable. It's like, yeah, they'll be back around this time of year. Summer's over. Here they come. They can't stand me. But I bring value to the table. I bring value. Stop trying to get people to like you first. You just I'm a good person. My mama got me clean. I'm doing all of these things. I'm just like, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Forget people accepting you on the level that you want them to accept you. Get people to accept you and respect you on the level that you create and demand. Power does not just flow to other corners of the universe. It is created, it is earned, or it's taken. It's not ever given away. Ever. That just doesn't happen. So you got these people here who, like I said, I've been doing a little testing on my personal page about certain things. And It's really, really interesting how people will invest so much time and energy into things that don't bear any fruit. Give you something else. I have my viewpoints, and I'm going to be really clear and I'm going to be very distinct. I think many college degrees are absolutely fucking waste of time and worthless. And that's not to say all. I also believe, which is very true, and this was said, those with the most education make the most money. I think that's very true. But then again, that brings us to the question of what is education? I believe my self education and my financial education will knock a lot of motherfuckers out the frame because they can't see the world the way that I do. They may have a high GPA, they may have did great in the group study, but when it comes out there to, hi, Mr. Customer, I have this product, I have this service, it's great for you, it's going to change your life. They can't do that. And see, that's where the rubber meets the road, and that's where the rain starts. That's where the money happens. That's where they can't do it. They can't do it. I will out execute your ass. There's people here on YouTube who was like, well, he's just a flash in the pan, or the favorite thing, he's fake and all this other stuff. Yet all of them just about have gone away, and the ones who are still here have a hate. They have a hate crowd. See, this is another thing about creating your own economy. When you create your own economy, you develop a larger picture of what you should be doing. There were people who were hating. There were people who were being racist towards me on YouTube. And I did not participate in that party because I am a owner. I am a boss. That's a gnat. That's a bug. And I kept doing my thing of building my own economy, working on my stuff. And they just imploded because they took their eye off the ball. It was just all about that fuckery court. Oh yeah, I'm going to shoot this J. A fuckery. I'm going to shoot this 3-point fuckery shot. That's where they were putting their time and energy. And where your time and your energy are is where your money goes or where your money comes from. So you have all of this stuff that's going on and people are distracted. People are upset. I don't even try to talk to these people anymore because I have experienced the benefits and the respectability that comes from creating your own economy, comes from creating a business. Let's go back to the racist who was going to work for me in a very submissive position. She needed money. She had some stuff going on. She was married. Her husband had some health issues. There was other things. She needed some money, but she knew that my little black ass could make it rain. The racist was going to work for me if I had a position. And to be totally honest with you, I was feeling some kind of way. I was like, I can't have you up in my house. Not the way that you were acting. And I know some of you is like, hey man, that'd been the thing to do. Hire her, show her. No. I don't operate like that. One, she wasn't fast as I needed. Two, I knew how she could be. There was a lot of reasons not to hire her. A lot. And I was just like, well, hey, thanks for sending me a resume, but the position's filled. Talked to her a little bit after that. She went away and I never talked to her again. But that's a lesson for you. And if you're, to my younger black folks who are getting this stuff, because I really think that a lot of black folks over the age of 45, 50, it's a wrap. You're done. They can't talk to you. You're stuck on stuff. You're walking around believing in false narratives. It can't. I'll give you this. I'm going to give you the stuff for the 16-year-olds in a minute, and I'm going to talk about my personal experience with the police. I've been a part of not one, but two domestic incidents where the police were called. The first time my ex-wife called the police because I came home, we got into an argument, and I was like, I'm going to bed. No, you're going to talk to me. No, I'm going to bed. No, she's like, I'm going to call the police and you have your ass arrested. Me being a smart ass, I give her the phone. She calls, 911 on the way. This is during the Rodney King incident. I am scared shitless. Long story short, they come. The officer, big, tall, Marietta police officer, ma'am, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he touched you. But due to Georgia state law, boom, 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 you got to leave. Well, someone's got to leave. And she goes with kids, and that's when she starts her path of lying, slander, and deceit. Never touched her. and the police believe me. Second incident with another woman. She was 5'3". I'm 6'1". That's like 265. She attacks me with a bottle. Yes, she attacks me with a bottle. I call the police. I get her off of me. And fellas, when you get in these domestic things, do not fucking leave the scene of the crime. That's where you go wrong. And I don't care what anyone tells you. You cannot state your case after you, because when you leave the scene of the crime, you look fucking guilty. Do not leave. Call the police. Stay there. Explain your side of the story, because it's a lot better than you going to work and then the police coming on your job picking your ass up. Explain. Do not fucking leave. That is what kills so many dudes. Like the guy in Florida where the girl hit him in the bar. If he had called the police and said he was assaulted and it's on, that shit would have went another way. But because he left, he was black, he was a football star. But because that simple little thing of knowing what to do in these situations. So once again, if she does something, call the police. Do not leave the scene thinking, oh, they gonna get me. You leaving the scene is killing you. So I call the police. I'm there. They come in. They separate us. They talk. And they come to me and it's like, Mr. Cameron, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't want her arrested. I want her to get help. So that's one domestic incident. I'm black. Didn't go to jail. Nothing happened. That's two. I recently bought a car. Well, in the beginning of the year, paid cash for it. Didn't have a tag. I knew I was going to get stopped, so I had my insurance papers together. Unbeknownst to me, my driver's license was suspended. No tag, no driver's license. I wasn't, and the cop pulls me over, comes back, and tells me, your license is suspended. And I was like, no, it's not. Just like that, because in my mind, I'm like, I know my status. I had drove for Uber for a little while. They did a background check, and she, white female cop, she goes back to her car. She's like, yeah, your license has been renewed quite a few. It's like, it's a glitch. Now, I wasn't, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. I wasn't doing none of that. It was two people having a conversation. And this is what she says when she saw, and I had on a hoodie and a skull cap. But I was able to speak to her because it's just, to me, that there's a certain way that you treat people when you're a boss. There's a certain way that, and it's not like you do it intentionally. It's just you used to ordering motherfuckers around. You used to authority. You used to talking to people at a certain level. And it was just, I wasn't yelling. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I wasn't doing none of that shit. I was just like, no, it's not. This is it. I handled that in 1998. I got the little green cards. I had this thing adjudicated, took it to the DMV. I went through that process. This is clearly a mistake. And then she's like, I agree. There's something wrong with this. I'm not going to arrest you. I'm not going to impound your car. You got to get this ticket, go down to court and clear it up. I did that, got it dismissed. Now, these are three things. Now, I tell other black folks, you got lucky. They were in a good mood. No, the fuck, I got talent. That's the thing. And the reason I'm talking to people like this is there are young people who are being influenced with this bullshit. I'm going to tell you, now to the 16 to 25, 30-year-olds, start a business. Start a business. And if you're good enough, anyone's going to buy from you. This whole thing, well, you got to be, 2, 3, 4, 5 times better than the white guy. Okay, let's talk about me once again. My favorite subject. I started this channel trying to sell my book. How many times I said that book was fucked up? It had editorial issues. The cover was really butt-ass ugly. Fucked up. Oh, I was not the best. Wasn't the best. And white people, Asian people bought from me. And it wasn't the best. I wasn't as good as I should have been. But I was too ignorant at the time to know what I was doing. So I just kept pushing forward. So there's that whole myth right there. Exploded. If you're watching this channel, if you bought my products and you see that. So what I'm saying, because I'm talking to you, because once again, I think if you're like over a certain age, you're just fucked. Mentally, you're just completely fucked. There's nothing I can say to you. I can have Jesus Christ come down, stand behind me and go, yes, my child, that is correct. No, that's a fake Jesus. See, if real Jesus wouldn't be hanging with you. No. Not my Jesus Christ. No. Let me go run and pray for you because you got the devil behind you. And Jesus like, what's going on? I was like, they've been like this for a long time. They've been like this for a long time. So for you young folks, do not believe the hype. Do not even get caught up in that. Do not start walking around thinking that every time a cop pulls you over, you're going to be dead. Because it's this hysteria and these false narratives are going to get you killed because people are going to operate on a certain behavior based upon the narrative. If you're not dirty and if you're clean, once again, domestic disputes with not one woman but two women, I didn't do shit, and that came across because I was able to state my case on the scene. Once again, don't fucking leave. You call the police. She calls the police. You call the police. And I got just sick and tired of me having all these experiences that go counter to the narrative, and I'm being told that I was lucky or special or the cop just really. I'm like, no, 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 no. And I'm going to give you another lesson for you military guys. And this is what my first Sergeant Branch told me. He's like, whenever you get pulled over, make sure that your military ID is closely related to your driver's license. And I did that shit, and I didn't get a ticket for like fucking 6 years. Because a lot of cops are former military, and they're going to have some kind of solidarity with you. And I know this one cop up in Marietta, he's like, hey, I don't need to see that. And he took my license and everything. He went back and checked everything out and saw that, I didn't have any warrants. I was clean. My tag was right. And he said, look, Troop. That's what he said. Look, Troop, slow it down. You have a good day. And I'm telling you this information because I have a friend that we talk about it. We always hear the stories of the losers and the disenfranchised and the fucked up. And you don't hear the stories of the winners. I don't know when it happened. And I know a lot of folks will be like, oh, God, he's crazy. When I get pulled over these days, I don't get scared. I just don't. I don't have that fear that I used to have. And I think that's from going from the employee mindset to the boss mindset to I know the law and I have resources. Like if some racist ass cop pulls me over and he's doing shit, am I going to like challenge him on the spot? I'm going to just turn my cell phone on, let it record, and I'm going to like, yes, sir, no, sir. And once I get my ass out of there, because the whole deal is to live, because you can't do shit dead. And I'm going to take that recording, then I'm going to go to the police station, I'm going to file a formal charge, then I'm going to go to the press, then I'm going to do all of that shit and get that motherfucker fired. So you can't get the motherfucker fired if you are dead. And that's the narrative and that's the bullshit that's going down that a lot of people are really, really missing. You can't do shit dead. You can't do shit without money. You just can't. Everything starts with money. That's just the deal. So for you young guys, 16 to say 35, start a business. If you got a job, start a part-time business. Start engaging. If you're black, start a business that serves everyone. There's this wonderful notion of like, we're going to start a business for the black community. I'm going to start and serve the people. Start a business for everybody. Then get to the point where you have money where you can go back to the community and bless motherfuckers. I gave out scholarships to people that I saw who were deserving because I can do it. Because I have the ability to do. It's hard as hell to be charitable when you're fucking broke. I know that we see these wonderful sentimental of, the homeless gang. They give him $100 and he gets the next homeless man $50 and we're just like, oh, that's amazing and that's wonderful. And it is an amazing and it's wonderful. But you know what? When some guy with $1 million comes in and is like, hey, I'm going to get all these homeless people off the street. That happens. We don't hear about it. That happens. That's really amazing too. You have to be selfish at one point to be generous later. Because as long as you're giving, I give you so many scenarios on that it would just take up all day. But I'll give you one. When I was young, I didn't know I was a producer. I was a hard worker, good work ethic. I always had 1 or 2 jobs. If I was allowed to go forward and use my ethics and hard work to serve me versus having to take care of other people who did not want to work as hard as I was working, who knows how soon I would have got to this position. And one of the reasons I'm talking to you young folks is that some of you've got talent, you have ability, and your mom and dad are going to suck off your ass. They're going to drain the fuck you dry, and you're going to have to leave them for you to have the life that you should. As a parent, it is a parent's job to take care of you, to protect you, and get you to a certain point. It is not a parent's job to siphon off your ass because they can't make it because they made irresponsible birth decisions. Yeah, I said that. And that's what happens. Because you get these people and the kids like taking care of the parents and then people like wonderful. No, it's tragic. It's horrible. That kid's energy should be going into building that person up, into building their business or pursuing whatever they want to pursue. It's a parent's job to provide support, not to be fucking supported. And that's what a lot of women are doing with these child support kids. If you ever notice how a lot of the women who have a kid, once they first kid's getting close to, 14, 15, they're starting to have that second kid to keep that child support train going on. I'm just like, how often am I seeing this shit? It's just like when that child support is about to run off, it's like, let's reload. I was like, and also with that, let's talk about that too, since we're on the family tip. And this all comes into the power of creating your own economy. How many times have you seen a woman fight a man tooth and nail for child support, but the minute that kid turns 18 and is no longer of economic value, it's like, get the fuck out. You gotta go. You 18, you grown. How often have you seen that shit? Hello? They're telling you who they are, because that's kind of fucked up too. No, that's not kind of fucked up. It's extremely fucked up. So you see that cycle all the time. So if you're a kid that's in that cycle, this is what you do. You go through this channel and you watch all the older videos and you get yourself a hustle. Then you start making money and you keep your fucking mouth shut. You don't tell your parents you've got money. You may have to keep it in a sock, a shoebox. You don't tell your friends you got money. And when you're old enough to go get your bank account, you open up a bank account and you slowly put the money that you've been accumulating in there. Or there's all kinds of things you can do. But you start making money because you're going to have to fucking escape. And I know they're your parents and you may love them, you may not, you may despise them, but whatever it is, you're going to have to fucking get out of there. Because if you stay there, the dysfunction that is them will be the dysfunction that is you. That's one of the reasons I left home. I never went back, even when I was homeless. My mother, she's like, oh, you can come home. And I could tell she was not like extremely happy to say that. And I was like, don't worry, I'm not. I'm going to stay here in Atlanta and figure this shit out. And that's what I did. But do not fall prey to this stuff, because I'm talking to y'all because, it was something. I used to work in a Scottish Rite emergency room, and this Dr. David Goo, he was fucking hilarious, the shit Goo would do. And he said, I like working with kids because kids get better and adults don't listen. I understand more than ever what he meant. I totally understand that, because I'm like, wow. So I'm going to just start talking to the kids. I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to drop these gems for you, because people my age are just done. They're like a turkey that's been in the oven too long. Extra crispy and a little dry, and it's just not, there's no juice in there. It's just not. Because when you see, and this is the thing, I mean, like I said, I have clients all over the world. I got clients who live in Israel, Australia, the UK, all over the world. And you know how I got them? This YouTube channel. And guess what? They know that I'm black. Because you hear it all the time. And I got an Aunt Bunny who is more progressive than most 90s. Yes, she's 97. And we talk about those things, and she can accept those ideals. Now, she, being 97, has seen a lot of shit I have never seen, and she experienced shit and saw times I never experienced. And if she can accept these ideals and listen to me, why can't other people? And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people want to wallow in misery. And then during my experiment on my personal page, many people will rather bitch about the problem for days versus coming up with a solution. Because this is how you fight Facebook trolls. Ask them logical questions, and they usually will tap out and go away. As long as you're just, I like that. I know how to deal with that. But when you're like, okay, that's true. What's the solution to this problem? Cricket, fucking cricket. And like I said, I'm just really saying this because there's so many people who are taking these false narratives and they're just going way too far with them. Totally too far with them. And it's killing them, literally, in some cases. Because let's go back to my experience with being pulled over in January this year. There are some of you who are so angry, frustrated, which I understand, that you would have let that anger and frustration make you do something and say something instead of being like me, driving the fuck off with, quote, in the system, a suspended license, no tag, drove the fuck off. Would have been in the back of her police car talking about police brutality, racism, profiling. No, she didn't profile me. It was late at night. She couldn't see that I was black. What she saw was I was in the BMW with no tag. That's what she saw because the windows were tinted. So there was no profiling. And truth be told, I was speeding. And she cut that down a little bit. So that's the reality of this life you can have. You don't have to have that life of you're black, you're fucked. You're a woman, you're fucked. You're a kid, no, you don't have to have that life. I spent 6 years in speech pathology because I had to learn how to speak. And I was told I wasn't going to be shit by someone who should have been encouraging me. And I learned to tune that out. And you're going to have to really get on your inner vibe and start developing yourself. And once again, to the kids, a lot of you are much smarter than you think you are. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. You're just not in a position to get the fuck out. That's why I said get your little hustle, start selling, learn to save your money, do your accounts, and go ahead and start your trajectory to get the fuck out. Because as long as you stay there, because if they see promising you, they're going to steer you into some safe job so they can siphon off of you for life. I'm serious. I've seen this happen several times. So that's what I feel is the power of creating your own economy, the power of being a contributor to society versus expecting society to contribute to you because you're just here. Yeah, big difference. Big difference in your life. Change your thinking. I'm going to recommend a book for you, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph E. Murray. Another book, Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. Get those two books, and then if you can find it, the CD set of Earl Nightingale's Lead to Feel. Read those books, and listen to Earl over and over and over. Recondition your brain. Get rid of all that bullshit. Because when I have people tell me that I got lucky for some of the things that happened to me, it's insulting. And also, they say it because they don't know how to do it. And the verse is saying, all right, man, how you do that there? It's like, I'm going to shit on what you did because I don't want to feel inferior, even though I am. So with that, I'll see you in the next session. And for those of you who are still here, I'm going to make you an offer. Hold on. Let's jump to it. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. Since you made it to the end of the video, I'm going to put up a special link here for you people. And what I'm going to do is give you a special onboarding package. Because essentially what we learned from the first launch, because it was just a test, and it was a really, really good test, is to figure out what's going to go wrong. And a big issue has been that people go to the site and they were kind of like lost and they're like, well, where do I start? And there was a lot of back and forth. So what we're doing this time is you go ahead and buy it, and within 24 hours, either Amy or myself is going to call you. Yes, we're going to actually talk to you. We're going to log in, and we're just going to walk you through some stuff and let you know where things are, because that seems to be better. That's going to be a better deal. And may throw in some extra goodies, but once you buy that, I'll let you know. Yeah, matter of fact, no, I'm going to do this. You go ahead and you make the purchase. You get the phone call. We walk you through the site, and then I give you a personal evaluation of what you're doing, how you're doing, just some pointers, maybe a quick 15-minute conversation. We'll do that. So that's their offer for everyone that buys the bundle, $350, between now and September 30th. We're going to do an onboarding process, because that's what they did to me for this site, and it explained a lot of stuff. And my site is there's a lot here. There's a lot going on. There's a whole bunch going on, and there's going to be more coming on. So that's what we're going to do. We're getting that set up. So that's the offer to you. Now, if you didn't get to the end of the video, because I'm going to put a special, it's going to be a way that you can buy it so I can know who just found it and who is taking advantage of this offer, because you're going to be directed to a special place, and everyone that buys from that website or that link, I will know made it to the end of the video. Don't put this in the comments. All right? So with that, I'll see you in the next video.